For years, Princess Diana's jewelry has represented far more than royal fashion. Every piece carries history, emotion, and memories connected to one of the most beloved figures the royal family has ever seen. But recently, a new royal discussion quietly started gaining attention online after reports and royal watchers began focusing on one particular possibility involving Princess and Catherine and one of Diana's most symbolic tiaras. At first, many people ignored the conversation. Royal jewelry stories appear all the time, but this situation felt different. The more people talked about it, the more attention it received across royal communities, fan pages, and media discussions. Because this was not just about diamonds or tradition. For many royal followers, this felt personal. Princess has always been viewed as one of the most respected and disciplined members of the royal family. She rarely creates headlines through drama, interviews, or public emotion. Instead, she has built her image through duty, consistency, and quiet loyalty to the monarchy. That is exactly why this reported decision has attracted so much attention. According to growing royal speculation, Princess may have supported the idea of Catherine becoming more closely connected to one of Princess Diana's iconic royal pieces. And almost immediately, people started debating what that could really mean behind palace walls. Because in the royal family, jewelry is never just jewelry. Every tiara, necklace, and brooch often represent status, trust, history, and future responsibility. Certain royal pieces are deeply connected to specific figures, moments, and generations. And when a symbolic item linked to Princess Diana enters a conversation, emotions naturally become even stronger. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has spent years gradually becoming one of the most visible and trusted senior royals. From public appearances to international events, many royal supporters believe she now represents stability during a time when the monarchy continues facing pressure, change, and non-stop media attention. And over time, comparisons between Catherine and Diana have only increased. Some people admire the similarities. Others think the comparisons are unfair. But there is no denying that Catherine now carries a level of public attention that few royals experience. Every appearance is analyzed. Every outfit becomes international news. Every royal event sparks discussion online. So when reports began suggesting that Princess may support Catherine's connection to a symbolic piece linked to Diana, royal fans immediately reacted. Some people viewed it as a respectful continuation of Diana's legacy. Others believed such royal symbolism should remain extremely protected and carefully handled. And naturally, debates quickly exploded online. Supporters of Catherine argued that she has earned enormous trust within the monarchy over the years. They point to her calm public image, disciplined approach, and ability to avoid unnecessary controversy despite living under constant global attention. To many royal fans, Catherine has slowly become one of the monarchy's most stabilizing figures. But critics saw the situation differently. Some royal observers questioned whether any modern royal should become too heavily associated with Diana's legacy. Diana remains emotionally important to millions of people around the world. Even decades later, conversations around her influence still create strong reactions. Because for many people, Diana was never viewed as an ordinary royal figure. She became something larger than the institution itself. That emotional connection is exactly why discussions involving Diana's jewelry instantly attract worldwide interest. What makes the story even more fascinating is Princess Anne's role in it all. Unlike many public royal figures, and has always stayed relatively distant from media-driven attention. She is known for protecting royal traditions and maintaining discipline inside the institution. That reputation makes people pay attention whenever her name becomes attached to an important royal discussion. Many royal watchers believe that if Princess Anne truly supports Catherine's growing symbolic role inside the monarchy, it could reflect something much larger happening behind the scenes. Not necessarily conflict, not necessarily division, but possibly a quiet recognition of where the future of the monarchy is heading. And that future increasingly seems centered around Prince William and Catherine. Over the last few years, public interest surrounding the younger generation of royals has continued growing. While controversies and media pressure have surrounded different members of the family, William and Catherine have largely maintained a carefully controlled public image focused on duty, family, and long-term stability. That matters more than ever right now. because the monarchy continues operating in an era completely different from previous generations. Social media never stops. Public opinion changes instantly. Every appearance becomes content. Every expression becomes a headline. Every rumor spreads globally within minutes. In that environment, symbolism becomes incredibly powerful. Even a small royal gesture can create international discussion overnight. And when Diana's name becomes connected to that symbolism, the attention becomes even bigger. Some royal analysts believe stories like this show how carefully the royal family manages public perception. Certain appearances, fashion choices, jewelry selections, and ceremonial moments are often viewed as messages without words, sometimes intentional, sometimes not. But royal audiences still analyze every detail. And Catherine's rise inside the monarchy has become impossible to ignore. She is no longer simply viewed as Prince William's wife. Many people now see her as one of the central figures shaping the monarchy's future image. Her public role has expanded steadily, and palace appearances increasingly place her at the center of major royal moments. That growing visibility is exactly why stories involving Diana's legacy attract so much attention around her. For older royal supporters, Diana represented emotional warmth and public connection. For younger audiences, Catherine increasingly represents stability and continuity. Whether people agree with the comparisons or not, the public conversation continues growing stronger every year. And perhaps that is why this reported decision involving Princess and feels so significant to royal watchers. Because beneath the headlines and speculation, many people believe this conversation is really about something much bigger than Tiara. It may reflect how the monarchy quietly prepares its future image while balancing the emotional legacy of its past. The royal family rarely explains these things publicly. Silence has always been part of the institution's strategy. But ironically, that silence often creates even more curiosity. People start looking closer. They analyze photographs. They compare appearances. They study royal traditions. And eventually, ordinary royal moments turn into worldwide discussion. Right now, that is exactly what seems to be happening again. Whether the speculation proves completely accurate or not, one thing is certain. Public fascination with Princess Diana's legacy remains incredibly powerful even today. And any royal figure connected to that legacy will continue attracting enormous attention from audiences around the world, especially Catherine. Because as the future queen, every symbolic step she takes now feels larger than before. And if senior royals like Princess and truly support that growing role behind the scenes, many believe it could signal an important shift quietly taking shape inside the monarchy itself. For now, the palace remains silent, but royal fans definitely are not. As the discussion continued spreading online, royal fans started revisiting old royal appearances, searching for clues that might explain why this story suddenly felt so important. Photos of Princess Diana wearing famous tiaras began resurfacing across social media, while side-by-side comparisons with Catherine quickly gained traction. Some people focused on style similarities, others focused on symbolism, but almost everyone agreed on one thing. The public fascination surrounding Diana's legacy has never truly disappeared. What surprised many observers was how emotional the reactions became. For some royal supporters, the idea of Catherine becoming more closely linked to one of Diana's iconic royal symbols felt natural. They argued that Catherine has spent years preparing for a larger future role, while carrying enormous public pressure with remarkable control. In their eyes, honoring Diana's legacy through Catherine would represent continuity rather than replacement, but not everyone viewed it that way. Certain royal critics argued that Diana's image remains too powerful and too personal to be connected to modern royal positioning. They believe her memory should stand separately from current palace narratives. And because opinions around Diana are still deeply emotional worldwide, even small royal stories connected to her can instantly divide audiences. That emotional divide is part of what keeps stories like this alive. The royal family has always understood the power of symbolism. Long before social media existed, royal appearances, jewelry choices, ceremonies, and public gestures were already being carefully watched by the public. But today, those moments travel globally within seconds. A single appearance can dominate headlines for days. And Catherine's role inside that system has become increasingly important. Over the last few years, she has gradually moved from being viewed as a future royal figure into someone many already see as the face of the monarchy's next era. Her public image remains highly controlled, calm, and polished, qualities that palace supporters believe are essential during uncertain times. Princess, and meanwhile, continues representing the older royal tradition of discipline and duty. She rarely participates in media drama, which is exactly why any reported support connected to Catherine immediately attracts attention. Royal insiders and longtime observers know that Anne's reputation inside the institution carries serious weight. Some analysts even believe this entire discussion reflects a larger internal transition happening quietly within the monarchy, not a dramatic takeover, not public conflict, but a slow shift toward the next generation of royal leadership. And in that transition, Catherine's public importance appears stronger than ever. That is why even rumors surrounding royal jewelry now create global headlines, because people are no longer just watching fashion. They are watching what each royal symbol might represent about the future itself. Online debates only intensified after royal commentators began discussing how carefully the monarchy protects historical items connected to major royal figures. Certain pieces are rarely seen in public without purpose. Some are connected to specific milestones, while others carry emotional value that goes far beyond appearance. Diana's iconic jewelry falls directly into that category. Her image still represents elegance, emotion, rebellion, vulnerability, and global fame all at once. Very few royal figures in modern history created that kind of worldwide emotional connection. Even today, younger generations who never saw Diana during her lifetime continue discovering her story online. That ongoing fascination means every conversation involving her legacy instantly becomes bigger than expected. And perhaps that explains why this reported move involving Princess and Catherine has captured so much attention so quickly. Because to many people, it feels like more than a simple royal rumor. It feels symbolic. Some viewers see it as a sign of trust. Others see it as careful royal messaging. And some believe it reflects the monarchy's attempt to strengthen emotional connections with the public by linking its future to one of its most unforgettable figures from the past. Whatever the truth may be behind palace walls, the reaction itself already reveals something important. Public interest in the royal family still depends heavily on emotion, symbolism, and storytelling. People do not just follow royal news for information anymore. They follow it to understand relationships, tension, loyalty, tradition, and change. And few stories combine all those elements more powerfully than one connected to Princess Diana. Meanwhile, the palace itself continues saying very little. That silence has become familiar over the years. Royal officials rarely respond directly to speculation unless absolutely necessary. Instead, the institution often allows public discussion to rise and fall naturally. But in the age of social media, silence sometimes creates even more curiosity than direct statements ever could. Because when the palace says nothing, people begin creating their own interpretations. And right now, interpretations are everywhere. Some royal fans believe Catherine is being carefully prepared for a future role larger than ever before. Others think Princess Anne's reported involvement shows how seriously senior royals view stability and continuity moving forward. And some believe the entire conversation proves just how powerful Diana's legacy still remains decades later. No matter which opinion people support, one reality is becoming increasingly clear. The monarchy is entering a new era. Older generations of royals are slowly stepping back, while newer figures move closer to the center of public attention. That transition was always going to create intense scrutiny. But because Diana remains emotionally tied to the future through William and Catherine, every symbolic story connected to her becomes even more significant. And maybe that is why this conversation refuses to disappear. Because beneath the headlines, the jewelry, and the speculation, people believe they may be witnessing something much larger quietly unfolding inside the royal